What if Nintendo created a Souls-like? Well, that's the premise of Slayer, and it's quite a good question. I entered the world to find out that we can take out zombies, liches, and even dragons. But our non-cutscene character is a bit weaker, for now at least. Because with no sword and no shield, I gotta bash enemies to death if I want to survive. Well, that didn't last long. I equipped the sword and found a shield shortly after, and that brought me into parry practice. The timing felt a bit odd with how she swings the shield, but I adjusted quickly and was rewarded with a door key. I then met a Korean shopkeeper, which is odd since my language is set to English, but hopefully, if any of you are Korean, you feel represented. After, I listened to this guard's warning, and then I entered the dungeon. These health potions are going to be essential to the run, unless I can perfect my parry, as I did against this spider. Each level allows me to upgrade my attack, defense, or agility, which is really just my stamina. When I run out, it hurts to move, so I am going to have to be careful of that. A little deeper in the dungeon, I found a fake chest. Upon destroying it, I was accosted by a bunch of skeletons. Easily killable though, so I moved on to a real challenge. This skeleton knight packs quite a punch, and one missed parry was all it took for me to receive my first death of the game. Luckily, I was just put back at the start of the level, so no real harm done. And rather than kill him, I decided to flee in fear, and I barely managed to survive with just a sliver of health left. Falling is an instant death, so I'll have to be careful of the holes, which there are many here in the dungeon. And a little ways down, I found the shopkeep again, but I couldn't afford anything good, so I went up against a knight instead. I barely managed to survive, but a quick heal, a well-timed parry, and my adamant refusal to stop attacking won me the fight. But it didn't work against the next knight. For him, I actually had to time my parry rather than just stand there and getting hit. On the next floor, I found a key, and then a second key. Rather than figure out what they do, I got killed by a skeleton instead. So I lured him to a more favorable area, killed him, and then found the gate for the purple key. Still not sure what the yellow one was for though. After that, I finally bought a new weapon. So now I deal a bit more damage, and I have good chances to stun. Sadly, I can also be stunned, which is a much less exciting prospect for me. I finally reached a safe room where this guard warned me that a boss was nearby. So, before I hop right into danger, I wanted to remind you to subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. Whatever you'd want to say, I just always enjoy reading them. I don't know if it was intended, but the game really gives off a roguelike vibe to me that I really like. Since, as you know, I essentially breathe roguelikes. The design, the quick restarts, easy replayability, less like an action or, even a Soulsborne type game and more like a roguelike, which I think's cool, which I really like. But enough about that. I grabbed the black key and walked all the way back to the other side of the map, where I face off against a horde of invisible spiders. As well as a few real ones, but they're not quite as scary. And I finally arrived at the gate. Unlocking it revealed our first boss, the Guardian of the Gate. I approached him just for him to attack with a big AoE. I then missed my parry, and while trying to avoid his projectiles, I fell right into a hole. Really makes me feel blind sometimes. Regardless of how it looks, I can confirm my eyesight is fine. Rather than have to run all the way through the level again, they put the key right at the front for me. So, I quickly made my way back to the arena, missed another parry, but this time I actually avoided the projectiles, before then immediately dying to another missed parry. Next attempt, I went straight for him, and I immediately got hit before finally getting a parry in. I dealt some good damage, and while he threw out those sword swipes, I got another few hits in. I got another parry, and then I just barely managed to survive his next attack, before getting trapped in this corner and then killed yet again. And my next death came courtesy of my nemesis, a single hole in the ground, which then somehow got me again immediately after. After finally making it back to the Guardian, I survived his attack and countered with some of my own. I then failed to outrun the sword swipes before getting very lucky and watching him miss me. I was out of stamina, but it hurt less to run than it would have been to take the swipe attack. He then went for his AoE, giving me a chance to rest and reset, before avoiding the swipes and getting him near half health. Unfortunately for me, his next attack stunned me, so there was literally nothing I could do to survive. I finally dodged his strike the correct way, and was able to deal a lot of damage to him. And after getting a few more parries, I dodged the wrong way and was instantly destroyed. The Soulsborne aspect of this game is becoming very clear to me during this fight. I know exactly what he's gonna do, and as long as I play safely and smartly, I know that I can pretty easily beat him. And on the brink of death, I nailed my parry, spammed the next one, and then healed up once he went into his next phase. I forced him into his AoE, but once he finished, I got the parry, dodged the strike, and then I ran to a better position. I landed my final parry, and played it safe, making sure to avoid his strikes before finally landing the death blow. And with that, we've defeated our first boss, and earned a key as well as a better shield, which I went ahead and equipped. I unlocked the gate, and I made my way deeper into the dungeon. A short way down, I came upon a devious puzzle. I didn't know how to cross this spike trap. Even when the spikes were down, I couldn't make it over without getting pushed back. I just kept dying for some reason. I killed every enemy on this side of the map, tried again, and still no luck. Nothing but damage and death. So, I thought maybe there was a hidden path, a secret path somewhere. So I started jumping off cliffs, but that just led to my death, no matter where I tried. I checked the controls to see if there was something I was missing, and while that didn't help me at all, I did realize that I forgot to buy any skills with my 8 skill points, which does explain why I struggled a little bit against the Guardian, but none of those were able to help me get across, and they reset on my death anyway. However, I did eventually manage to get across, saved my chosen skills, and dived even deeper into the dungeon, where I met cool new bosses such as Amalgam the Cursed, who upon death gives you the aptly named achievement, Amalgam the Cursed Defeated, and this giant skeleton mage named Necrotus, who, like the shopkeeper, and unlike me, is also fluent in Korean. But those exciting adventures are gonna have to wait for another time. And I think we've answered our initial question. If Nintendo made a Soulsborne-like Slayer, then I think they'd have made a very fun game. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, consider becoming a member if you want to watch future videos a little bit early, and get a little icon next to your name. Most importantly though, make sure to have a great rest of your day. Bye.